Wow, 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 wow. That was from Recollection. Our song by The Offspring starts. And this is Amazing Spider-Man 213. My copy was not lined up right at the printers, so the cover chops off some of what the bad guy is saying. But here we have the first part in a three-part story, which has Spider-Man, mix it up with Fantastic Force and Seaman bad guys. Great little team-up story. Early art by Junior as well. I am ganning to spoil summit straight off the bat and let you know that the person on the right here is the sexy woman with Marge Simpson's hair from SeaWorld Attacks. And furthermore, this story has her perform what we call on this channel a moon dragoning. She performs a moon dragoning upon Spider-Man. So I have gotten my bias out of the way, and we begin with some really well done, moody scenery. I didn't think I have ever given her a name, so let's call the sexy sea woman Thinner Ursula. Thinner Ursula is breaking Wingman out of prison. Just realised I called him Wingman through the whole video when his name's bloody Wingless Man. God, what an idiot I am. She wants him to help her complete her quest for revenge on Seaman. I once proposed that Thinner Ursula is Seaman's arch nemesis by virtue of her having affected him the most. People responded like I was crazy, but I stand by my belief that Thinner Ursula has accomplished the most amount of hurt towards Seaman. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is having costume troubles. He is trying to bleach some stains and stuff off his costume, and I quite like seeing more humdrum sort of superhero admin like this. Famously, I like seeing admin in comics. And Peter Parker has got this new irresistible neighbour who from the word hello is driving him bananas. Since I have spoilt things already, I will also spoil this. The sexy neighbour is Thinner Ursula, and she is using mind witch powers to ensnare Peter Parker. I love Spider-Man. I love Peter Parker. He is one of the most likeable and relatable characters in comics. But his relationship with Deborah Ann Woll, in this it is horrific. That relationship overall was a disaster, but he comes off as a real prick in this story. And Deborah Ann Woll is hot. The actress, Deborah Ann Woll. She should get more work and not MCU work. Afterwards, I love this bit though. Spider-Man has screwed up his costume with the bleach, and now it is all washed out. And so he has to wear this suit with the screwed up colour scheme. If I remember, this is an ongoing thread in Spider-Man's comics. He has destroyed his only costume, and so soon he starts wearing like a fancy dress costume which says D Spinner or something like that on the back. And it doesn't fit him quite as well either. But right now, he is ganning up against Wingman. And I am ganning to be well behaved and not mention the Twin Towers or anything that may have happened to them since this issue came out. I will instead talk about Wingman. And I quite like Wingman. And no, he wasn't in New Thunderbals. Well, he was in a scene of Avengers vs. Thunderbals, but I am not sure where I first saw this character. Very possibly, it is this story, actually. And right now, it is time for another history lesson. Wingman was introduced in Strange Adventures, issue 102, as a solo opponent for Human Fire. Jack Quimby used to draw him very grotesque and funky looking. It didn't take long for Wingman to move over to the main Fantastic Four series, where he often was leading the Frightening Four. He crops up in other titles from time to time, like Avengers, and he was one of the main players in Acts of Vegans, which may have also been where I first saw Wingman. Finna Ursula, on the other hand, she has mostly been in Seaman comics or Seaman stories. She first appeared in Seaman issue 32, which is an issue before issue 33. She keeps killing most the women in Seaman's life, which is why I consider her his arch enemy. Her biggest role was she was one of the main bad guys in the SeaWorld Attacks crossover, which is a bad story, but I constantly see more potential in. Her best story is probably this one, because Finna Ursula, she is ganning to Moondragon, Spider-Man. To newer viewers who missed my horrifically confessional video about Moondragon, I'm not even going to show a cutaway of it because I am embarrassed by that video, but I am leaving it up because it is an important bit of channel lore. The term Moondragoning refers to when a beautiful female comic book character rapes a man. I was going to tiptoe around the R word there and say takes advantage of or takes control of. But no, it's just plain old-fashioned rape. I find it sexy when it happens, but that's okay because I've got low self-esteem. Didn't plan that. It only works if that is the Offspring song I was doing at the start. To quickly get away from the talk of rape, here is outside for Roy Sternman and Hank Miller's run on Doctor Strange, which wound up never happening. Hank Miller only did a cover, some Andy Book profile art, and this advertisement. He was too busy on Daredevil. Wingman, using his technology, he has found where Spider-Man lives. And Finn and Ursula presumably already knew this to begin with. They didn't quite explain what her real plan was, masquerading as a sexy woman in Peter Parker's apartment building. But Wingman, he sets fire to the building to draw Spider-Man out. And that pervert Daredevil, he doesn't give a flying fuck about the arson. He is too busy handing out fruit pies to punk kids. So it is up to Spider-Man. He has to save a homeless person who was slumming. He has to save them from the fire. It ends with the cliffhanger of whether Spider-Man will be able to save this person. Didn't lose sleep over it. He will. This three-parter is good fun. There really is some excellent Spider-Man comics during this period. And it's not just the moon dragoning making me say so. The actual moon dragoning in this story isn't even a thing, really. There is an implication, and of course, I am saying that it happened because I will not rest until all my heroes have been sexually violated by hot women. I rape this 7 thumbs up.